Well, Coach, it was a little crazy. It was a little nerve-wracking, the win over Kent State, but in the end, your team figures out a way to make it happen. Do you take the fact that they never stopped fighting, and even after that long, crazy drive with a minute to go, your team was still able to get out of there with a win? What does it say about the resiliency of your squad?
Yeah, it says a lot. It says a lot. It was a wild back-and-forth game, a great college football game. I'm sure the viewers were thoroughly fulfilled, spending 3+ hours watching that one back and forth, and a lot of great plays on both sides. Great to get away with a win, and a lot to learn from the game, a lot to take away, but it was definitely a character test, and I think our guys passed it.
One of the reasons you were able to come back was another step forward by your quarterback, Taquan Roberson, 375 total yards of offense, a new career high in passing. Do you feel like you've seen him take different kinds of steps every week, and we're only 3 games in? Does that bode well?
Well, it's certainly encouraging, and he continues to pleasantly surprise us with his feet. He had some great scrambles to keep drives alive the other day. And after a few errant throws early in the game and 1 or 2 drops, quite frankly, the entire offense responded. The pass protection was good. We were able to get the ball down the field when we needed to in those 2-minute drives, and some great catches capped off by Vic Snow's final touchdown catch.
There were 2 strategic decisions that seemed to spark your team, and I bring it up because I want you to take everybody a little bit inside the headset. You went much more 4 wide receiver in the second half. That seemed to open up the offense. You made the change by putting Mitchell Gonser in for almost all of the second half, and he seemed to spark the defense. How do those decisions get made? How much discussion is there? Is that a hard thing to shift from what maybe you didn't come into the game get ready to use?
Well, that's part of the reason that we're in the office from early in the morning until late at night having these kind of conversations. And one thing on the defensive side, the fact that Deion Crawford can play both linebacker and edge gives us a lot of flexibility, because whether it's giving Malin White or Kobe Stewart a blow, or strategically putting in Deion for a specific purpose, and knowing that you have somebody like Mitch that can come in and play linebacker at a really high level, and much like Taquan, he continues to get better week to week. That just gives us a lot of flexibility. And now when you get to a point in the season where you're having some injuries or you're looking to create some mismatches, again, having some depth and having some flexibility goes a long way.
Let's follow up on Gonser. Again, 3 games into his UB career, he's already the MAC Defensive Player of the Week. He's made the interception at Minnesota, like some of the signature plays. Like, we've already noticed number 39. How did you get him, and how have you worked him in so quickly?
Yeah, it's a great story. In the Ivy League, they don't redshirt, and they're all on schedule to graduate in 4 years. But technically, from an NCAA standpoint, if you don't play one of those seasons in more than 4 games, from an NCAA standpoint, you have a red shirt. So fortunately, in Mitch's case, he got his Harvard degree and decided to come join us as a 5th-year grad transfer. He's getting a master's degree in finance and doing exceptionally well in that program. He had a great summer internship in Buffalo, so he's been an outstanding representative of our program from the minute he got here. But I love him. He's got a blue-collar edginess about him. He's not a fake tough guy. He's a real tough guy. And one thing I will say, and I coached in the Ivy League and loved it, but they play 10 games. They're just getting started with their season this week, so their preseason is much shorter. There's only 12 spring practices. In the summertime, they're usually homework and internships. There's a little less off-season time. You don't have some of the nutrition and 3 full-time strength coaches like we do. So even though guys like Malin White and Connor Henderson and Mitch are coming to us as older players, they still have a lot of potential to develop because they're spending more time on football at a place like UB. And so we're seeing with all 3 of those guys that there's continued growth and development, which is really cool.
Talking with Bulls head coach Pete Lembo as we get you ready for this first of 3 straight home games, the Bulls and the Troy Trojans. For the second straight game, as you face Troy, you're going to face them making a quarterback change. But overall, what are your sense about the Trojans coming up here?
Very very impressive football team. Very athletic, very physical, a lot of guys in all three phases that can run and hit. Great team speed. They had Clemson on the ropes. They got off to a great start against Clemson, and then Clemson came back in the second half. I think Memphis is an elite Group of 5 team, and they had a great battle. Their defense has only given up 331 yards a game, so they're one of the best in the country. We will see a different quarterback this week who came in for basically most of the Memphis game, if he indeed starts, but played a lot last year and played successfully last year and will now have a week to prepare for. So this is going to be a huge challenge in all three phases for our football team.
All right, quickly as we wrap up here, we always do our Learning with Lembo segment, and we are learning now that one of your favorite places in the country comes in the state that Troy comes from, which is Alabama.
Yeah, so in that Mobile area, there's a little town called Fairhope, which is just a beautiful, quaint little town. It's across the bay from Mobile, and Jen and I have been there a few times and enjoy it very much. And I've also had a chance to recruit Alabama quite a bit, especially when I was at Memphis and a little bit when I was at Lehigh and Elon. We used to go into Alabama, a lot of respect for the high school football there, and then got to play a bowl game in Mobile at Ball State. And obviously the Mid-American Conference is still connected to that bowl game. And who knows, maybe someday we'll be fortunate enough to go back there.
All right, let's make everybody in Fairhope be disappointed about 7 o'clock or so on Saturday night if Pete's Bulls can come up with a win. Coach, good luck against Troy.
Okay, thanks so much.